You've already walked through the fall. You've stood in the quiet after everything broke. You've seen now that dissension was never punishment, it was passage. It stripped away the noise so that you could finally hear what was real. And now you're standing at the beginning of the ascent. Ascent is not about climbing higher. It's not about escaping the past. It's about remembering what has always been yours. It's about realizing that your power never left you. It just got buried under layers of belief and self-judgment. This week, you're entering what I call the inner courtroom. It's not a place that you can see, it exists in your mind. It's in the space when thoughts become decisions and decisions shape your entire reality. It's where your past still argues its case and your higher self waits for a chance to speak. Most people never realize that they're living under laws that they didn't even write. Rules that say how much love is allowed, how much joy is permitted, how much truth can be spoken before safety is lost. These truths were created a long time ago by fear or shame or survival, and then they were never questioned again. But you're here to change that. The inner courtroom is where you start to notice every voice that's ever claimed authority inside your mind. The critic, the caretaker, the perfectionist, the version that apologizes before it even speaks. You'll hear them all this week, not to get rid of them, but to understand them. Each voice carries a story about what it took to survive. Each one still believes it's keeping you safe. But what once protected you might actually now be preventing you from becoming who you really are, at least fully. The first step of ascent is awareness, recognizing which voices belong to fear and which belong to truth. The next step is authority, deciding whose words get to shape your reality. This is not a mental exercise, it's a rewiring of your own internal law. From this point on, no thought and no belief gets to rule your mind without your consent. In the Blueprint, we call this the Ascent Agreement. It's a contract between your soul and your human self that says, I will no longer follow the laws of fear. I will write new ones that reflect who I really am. You might feel resistance when you begin, and if you do, that's normal. The old systems will try to defend themselves. They'll tell you that safety comes from control. Peace must be earned. That your worth has to be proven. But your work here is to listen without obeying. Witness without submission. Hear the old arguments and choose differently. When you start questioning the old laws, your mind begins to reorganize. It starts to understand that you're the authority now. It learns that truth is not a threat. By the end of this week, you'll write your ascent agreement. Not from hope or ambition, but from clarity. It'll mark the exact moment that you stopped letting history speak louder than your soul. Ascent is not the opposite of falling. It's the realization that you've never been broken. You were just becoming conscious. And consciousness is never gentle at first. Even babies come in crying. It doesn't arrive wrapped in peace. It arrives like a light flooding a dark room. It's sudden, it's disorienting, revealing everything you might not have wanted to see. It shows you the mess that you've made trying to stay loved. It shows you the masks that you wore in order to keep belonging, and it shows you every place that you traded your truth for approval. And in that glare, there's a moment of grief, because you see how much of your life was actually built on compromise. But then there's a shift. You start to notice that the same light exposing what's false is also the same light that's illuminating what's real. Awareness isn't a punishment, it's permission. Permission to stop pretending, to stop performing for safety, and to meet yourself unedited, unarmored, and unafraid. That's when the real ascent begins, not when you try to escape your shadow, but when you turn toward it. When you can sit with the voice that once ran your life and say, I see you, but I decide now. That's what mastery looks like, not control, but command. The ability to witness every thought that passes your mind and still remember, I am not the thought. I'm the awareness behind it. Every time you choose presence over panic, you rewire your law. Every time you answer fear with observation instead of reaction, you dismantle an old court ruling inside of your psyche. And little by little, your entire system begins to recalibrate. The nervous system softens, the mind quiets, the body stops bracing for a threat that doesn't exist anymore. Stop existing as a collection of reactions and start existing as a conscious creator. That's what the blueprint has been leading you toward all along, not perfection, authorship. To stand in your own inner courtroom and write new laws with awareness as your pen. Laws that say I'm safe in my own power. I'm no longer at war with my own voice. I'm allowed to evolve beyond the person that my past needed me to be. And when that becomes your foundation, the ascent no longer feels like effort. It feels like returning home to a mind that finally serves you instead of sentencing you. That's what consciousness does. It doesn't fix you, it frees you. Reminds you that the descent and the ascent were never two separate parts. They were always one continuous spiral. Sacred loop of remembering and releasing. And as you walk the spiral, your brain will begin to learn that safety is not found in control, it's found in awareness. But at first, it's not going to believe you. It'll still look for danger in familiar places. It'll still fire old alarms when nothing's wrong, because that's what it was taught to do. Your brain's not the enemy, it's just conditioned. It repeats what it practiced. So you start teaching it differently. Every time you pause before reacting, you reintroduce it to choice. When you breathe through discomfort instead of retreating, you show it survival isn't the only option, growth is. And slowly, the neural pathways that used to worship fear begin to thin, while the ones that honor truth begin to strengthen. This is rewiring. The mind learns through repetition, not punishment. So you keep showing up, you keep choosing presence. Even when the old loops tempt you back into chaos, you keep catching yourself mid-thought saying, no, this time we're going to respond differently. Every time you do that, your nervous system begins to trust you. Your body stops anticipating harm. Your brain starts syncing with the rhythm of your higher self, new possibilities. And the very chemistry that once anchored you in survival begins to anchor you in awareness. And this is the place that you rise from. You've done the hard part. You stood in the fire of awareness and stayed long enough to see that it wasn't trying to harm you, it was trying to forge you. You rise here because you're not a version that needs to prove anything. You're the one that finally remembers who they are. The old programs can't follow you where you're going. They'll echo for a while, but that's just a memory trying to keep you safe. But you don't belong to memory anymore, you belong to motion. You're no longer living on autopilot, you're creating from intention. The mind you once feared has become your ally. The body that you once mistrusted has become your instrument. The soul you once maybe doubted has taken the mic back. And from here on, you speak life into yourself like it's the law, not conviction, not judgment, life. You move through rooms as though your energy rewrites the air. You stop waiting for permission, you stop apologizing for alignment. You stop making yourself small so that others can stay comfortable. Because every time you shrink, the old law wins. Every time you expand, the new ones solidify. You're building neural architecture for freedom. You're wiring your brain to expect peace, to anticipate purpose, to recognize abundance as its default setting. So rise with the knowledge that you're both the architect and the evidence. Your consciousness is no longer fragile, it's calibrated. You finally understand that power is not loud, it's consistent. It's the steady hum of alignment that keeps you moving forward even when no one's watching. And that's the moment where everything shifts, not because the universe changed, but because you did. You became aware. You became the law. You became the authority over the world within you. And why would you not be? And when you govern that world with truth, the outer one can't help but rearrange itself to match that. And if you ever forget what you're capable of, just remember this. You've already survived everything that tried to silence you. Now it's time to speak, not from pain, but from power. Welcome to the ascent. Your law begins here.